Well, I'm sure your house is probably a lot like mine. You've got a little of this and a little of that. Now, you would think, of course, since I design all of this stuff, that I would have cupboards full of complete sets of all the dinnerware and everything that we do. But of course, it's the classic, you know, shoemaker's children. And I usually end up with bits and pieces. Mind you, I need to work towards full sets of absolutely everything we have. But I end up, oh, I'm going to get 4 of those. Oh, I'm going to get some of this. And then, you know, mishaps happen. You know, the kids are throwing something in the dishwasher. It breaks. Oh, well. So I'm going to share with you what I do when I end up with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I love collecting antique china, and I have a lot of, you know, old things from my grandmother and my mom and things like that, you know, pretty plates and things like that that I remember, you know, eating off of at my grandmother's house. And I know you guys probably have bits and pieces of that, or maybe you collected along the way, but it's such great stuff to mix in with a pattern like Vivre. The great thing about Vivre is that it's this really interesting, very modern pattern that has really cool beats of vintage. And it's just, you know, interesting and layered, and it's artful, and it works so well with other patterns. I mean, how spectacular is this gorgeous plate with this wonderful vintage plate? It's so pretty on a tabletop. And if you take bits of what you have with, you know, a pattern like Vivre and mix it all together, you're going to create a really neat, eclectic look anyway. It's going to be that much more fun to set up a table, more creative, more interesting, and then you're not going to be sweating it every time that one of your kids or you break a plate or your set's not complete. You know, that's the kind of thing that none of us need to be stressing over. You know, I even look at, you know, I try to pick up hints of color. So, you know, I love this big, gorgeous orange rim with the pops of color in this. You know, the great thing about color is there really are not too many rules with color. It's pretty much, if you're willing to allow your mind to play around a little bit and free yourself of any sort of, oh, pinks and reds don't go together, or browns and blacks don't go together, you know, let all that stuff go and just allow yourself to pull things together a little bit more. I mean, I love the way the gorgeous red from Artesian Road works with the beautiful browns and turquoises from Vivre. I think it's very interesting. I love how our patterns play off of one another. That's fun for me too, because as I've told you, I have bits and pieces of everything. So, you know, it just ends up that my pantry is pretty much this funky mishmash of old and eclectic. And, you know, I might be traveling, I might be in Hong Kong, and I'll go down those little wonderful dark streets and I'll find some funky thing to mix in. That's what I love when I'm searching around. You know, I'll find interesting textiles like this brilliant orange throw with all kinds of interesting embellishments, you know, funky gold embellishments. And that's a great piece for me to throw over a couch or to take off the couch and throw over a tabletop. You know, so the highs and lows, the textures and all that stuff can work to your advantage, even if you just have a little of this or a little of that. It'll allow you to create a gorgeous table. Always, you know, a little height is pretty. This is a really neat piece, you know, to put a candle in. You know, and, you know, interesting little figurines are fun to throw on the tabletop. You know, a mix of glassware. Just play, have fun with it. Let it be like a really neat creative outlet for yourself.